Welcome to the grand final episode of this Parramatta Career Mode series. So before we jump into the match, we have got a couple of pit stops along the way. First of all, recruitment. So as you can see, our main focus this season during recruitment was to re-sign some marquee players if we were to move forward with the franchise. So those players were Dylan Brown, Reed Marnie, Marata Nukore, and Micah Seaver. Obviously, in doing so, we had to let quite a few go, and the biggest of the released players was Penny Terapo. And the logic behind the recruits, I was looking for a winger just to have his depth, and that came in the form of Jermaine McGilvery, who plays in the Super League for Huddersfield Giants and is an English international. I was also looking for a utility to come off the bench, and that's pretty much why I picked up Kurt Mann. And finally, with over 400 votes from the OddSquad, the people's choice of this season goes to the Parramatta rookie 5'8", Dylan Brown, who didn't start the season at 5'8". He actually came in at round 5, and since joining the starting lineup, he's arguably been one of, if not the, most consistent player, and that pretty much shows off the amount of votes that he got during this regular season. It has been quite the journey to the grand final. We finished the regular season at number 2 in the league. As for our opponents, St George Illawarra, they finished at 6th in the league with a pretty terrible win-loss ratio of 13 wins, 11 losses. Their run in the finals though has been quite an impressive one, defeating the Roosters 20 points to 8, then defeating the Storm 22 points to 12, and holding the Broncos scoreless in the preliminary final, beating them 20 points to 0.
They are capable of. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yes, folks, Eddie is pumped. Everyone is pumped. Look at the crowd. Look at them. They're going off. They're hanging out of their trees. This is going to be a good match.
12 minutes in, Dragons looking to return the kick here through Gareth Widdop, who steps around one defender. He's going to get pulled down for a decent return just past halfway. So there is a little bit of history between the two teams. The Dragons actually gave us our second loss of the season way back in round 2. And we soon redeemed ourselves with a 22-6 win. Well, not really soon, but we did beat them back in round 15, 22 points to 6, which was pretty satisfying, not gonna lie, as the Dragons continue to chip away. Looking for the first points of the game, it's going to be Paul Vaughan breaking out a 1, getting wrapped up by 2. As he stopped centimeters from the line on the last, they send it to Norman, tries poking one in behind the line. I was actually anticipating the grubber. If you watch closely, I did retreat back to the line before he kicked it. So we do one decent defensive read, I guess, as we fend past one defender, and we do get the penalty for a high tackle, which will get us in the opposition's red zone. As we enter the second quarter, 25 meters out, Brown at first receiver sends a cut up ball to Gutho, and Gutho gets pulled down just inside the 20. On the second with Moses, as he steps his way around one defender, and we will open the scoring here early in the second quarter through Mitchell Moses with a little bit of footwork and pace to get to the line as he converts his own try, and it's going to be 6-0 as we head into the halftime break.
The first half is all over. Anything you'd like to say about that first half, Eddie?
A very good half. Both coaches will be wanting their players to stick to the main game plan, but I suspect there'll be a few small tweaks here and there.
So after a grind of a second quarter, both teams not really progressing through enemy territory, we are back in the second half, the 60th minute. Actually, it's the 51st minute. As Gareth Widdop once again stepping his way past defenders, gets wrapped up on our 40. As they shift it down this left edge on the second, the Dragons are making decent meters through the middle of the field as they go with a little switch play to the Bellin. Around the ruck, he gets pulled down, 25 out. 2 tackles left in the set as they go out the back to Norman to Graham, and Graham is going to get wrapped up on the 20. Fifth and last, and it looks like they're going to go for an aerial assault here as they send it to the skies, and Clint Gutherson does well to come down off the pill, and he will remain in the field of play. So after a strong defensive set from the Dragons, we are left struggling to clear the ball, and it's the Dragons with Cameron McInnes creeping on that 30-meter line as they send it to the Bellin, and the Bellin is wrapped up by 2. Players are pretty slow to get back on side as Cameron McInnes chucks it right into the hands of one of our defenders, caught offside, and this could be a blessing in disguise as we give the penalty away. Widdop lands the penalty goal and gets them within 4 points. Inside the final 10 minutes of the match, we have the Dragons pinned on their 20 as Tarek Sims shrugs off one defender and he makes some pretty decent post-contact meters, finally getting wrapped up outside the 40. As Jacob Lattimore this time, more post-contact meters through the middle of the field. As Gareth Widdop steps around one, shrugs off another, as he breaks out of yet another tackle and he'll get pulled down on our 20. A huge run from a key player in the Dragons. As they go wide on the 4th, Aitken feeling a little pass happy. He was already through the gap and he could have ran to the line probably as they shifted on the last. Not a playmaker in sight as they send it to Vaughan, who puts up the perfect bomb. It actually looked perfect off the boot, but it was overcooked, and we do get that 20-meter restart. And I think you will find that with under a minute left in the match, we will be crowned the new NRL premiers in our first season as the Parramatta Eels. We'll be bringing that trophy back to Parramatta after what I'd say is a super successful season. I'm still a little undecided on where we want to take our talent next, but like I've been saying in previous videos, I will be updating you guys through that community tab. Will we remain in the NRL? Will we head over to the Super League? Or could we possibly start our own team? As always, if you made it this far into the video, hit up that comment section with the hashtag OddSquad. Drop that like button for more rugby league content or more content in general. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you.
Extraterrestrial, I do this on another level.
Later.
Closer to Jesus, I go too hard in extremists to take one night out with my team, and it get harder to leave us, and all, yeah. It get way harder to leave us, and all. I'm gonna have to try way harder.